to embark on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, ghostly encounters, lucid dreaming, astral projection, the Mandela effect. This is Out of Body Experience TV with your host, Juan Augusto.
Hey everybody, welcome to Out of Body Experience TV. I'm your host Juan Augusto, and we're starting right on time, 11:11. So today's topic, it's going to be pretty much late night paranormal talk, and it's a continuation of the topic from the Dark Wolf's Den. Uh, Pets, psychic pets, can we communicate with our pets? And hold on a second, I got somebody joining me. And welcome, Propagate This Light. How's it going?
It's going. How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty. There's a bit of an echo in the background.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So today we are talking about psychic pets, pet psychic. It's a pretty much a discussion, a continuation from the topics. Now, here's the thing. I posed the question: can you communicate with your pet, or can pets communicate with us? Not just basically using their psi abilities. Okay, so there is this one cat that is known as Oscar the cat, and I found this very intriguing because this cat, basically, this cat goes to um, individuals' beds who are in a hospital, and he just seems to lay down on their bed, like comforting them, and it's like he knows that they're gonna die, they're gonna pass away, right? And at first, I guess everybody was intrigued or kind of scared about the fact that Oscar the cat can do something like that. But I guess these, the cats, the pets have a sixth sense of this sort of stuff. Um, what do you think, Prop? Have you heard about Oscar the cat?
No, I haven't. But I've heard that animals can sense things. So that's interesting.
CSN says, "What's up, guys? Hey, champ, how's it going?" Yeah, no, because I heard about it like a while back, but then the Dark Wolf Den was talking about the cat, Oscar the cat, and they even made a book about him. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a movie if they haven't already. But um, how I wanted to bring this discussion to myself was um, I decided to, conduct an experiment like I like to do. And it's in terms of astral projection. Hey, Earth Daughter. Excuse me. So, what I ended up doing was I was going to astral project. So, I was doing my meditation, and, took about like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour, I guess. I started feeling the vibrations, and then I started seeing the stream of white light throughout, in my vision, and then that loud humming noise, and then I started to feel myself leave my body, quote unquote. So I was in my room, and I was walking towards the couch, and I looked, and there was my cat. And the funny thing is that the cat, as soon as it basically, it turned its head in my direction, and his eyes bugged out like he could see me. So I was like, whoa. I got a little startled at this because I was, you know the whole saying cats can sense, this sort of stuff. So when I was projecting, my initial thought process was to the cat, you can see me, can't you? And I was waving at the cat. And again, I moved to the left, and the cat's head followed me. And then I decided to move to the right, and then you could see the cat moving to the direction that I'm in. And I was like, wow, this is so crazy. And I was waving at the cat. Okay. So I decided to return to the physical body, so to speak. I got up and I was like, I got up from my bed, turned on the lights, and there was the cat, just as he was when I astral projected. He was right on the couch. And then this time it's physical me looking at the cat, and his eyes are still bugged out. His eyes were bugged out looking at me the same way. And and the thought process was, you you saw me, didn't you? And that's what I was communicating. I said it out loud with the cat. I was like, you saw me, didn't you? And the cat was just like, huh? You know what I mean? So that was a funny experience that I had, um, with with communication, with a pet. And I've had a lot of questions in, astral projection groups, because I have, a lot of people, or members, asking, can they communicate with their pet? Because the thing is that, when their pets have passed away, they have passed on, they miss that closeness. Like, for instance, because I had, even my, many years ago, uh, my uncle, he had a dog, German Shepherd, and they couldn't have kids. So that was his kid, the German Shepherd. When he passed away, it hurt him so bad, because it was like their kid, it was like his kid, right? So a lot of people in the groups would like to, they would like to, you know have that closeness, feel that closeness. And I think we can communicate with our pets, once they have passed on, right? Maybe they'll come to us in dreams, right? What do you think, Prop? Have you ever had like any kind of, experience like that with a pet?
No, but I've heard of experiences. There's one experience that I heard of, that a person had a near-death experience. They were able to come back, and they went to the astral realm, I guess it was, and then the pet that they had passed away previous to their experience of having a near-death experience, and their pet was there, acting like a human, pretty much. Pet was at what do you call it, a kiki bar or something like that. I think it's called a kiki bar. Them outside where they serve drinks, at a beach or whatnot. And the pet was sitting at the kiki bar. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And having a drink and talking to the person, in English. So, but me personally, I never had any experiences like that. But I've had pets before as well that has passed away.
So let's see, one second. Earth Daughter says that could explain how one of my cats in the past would all of a sudden be startled and just staring through the wall, not at the wall, through it. Yeah, and that's the intriguing part, is that, like, for instance, when my cat was alive, it wasn't really my cat, but I called it my cat because he was with me for 18 years, right? And he recently passed in last January the 19th, I believe. So the thing is that, I've always wanted a cat, right? So it's funny how I ended up with a cat. And the cat would be looking in certain locations, and the cat would whip its head in that direction, specifically looking in that area. And I remember having the conversation with the cat, saying out loud, I'm like, you see something, don't you? And then the cat's just like bugged out. It's like, so, and even I think in ancient times, weren't cats also revered, as like, protectors of human beings? I guess, I forget where I heard this from, but I remember hearing something like this. Um, yeah. So for instance, like, the cat would hop on my bed sometimes, and I wouldn't mind. I would be like, oh, it's comforting, right? So even when he passed away recently, or like in January, the thing is that when he was buried, right, I said a special prayer, and what happened was, I went, I took a nap, and then what happened was that I ended up, like, because I get a lot of these experiences I shared with uh, many people in the past, the experiences, but I felt that, like, I could sense a presence in my room. But this, it wasn't a human presence. It was like, it was an animal. It was a pet. It was the cat. So I could feel like the cat hop on the bed, and then when you can feel something hopping on your bed, the imprints and all that, and then the cat was on my chest, and then it was just resting on my chest. It was so beautiful. It was like, I was aware, and I was just like, wow. It was comforting.
The cat was resting on the six pack, huh? But yeah, earlier, yeah, earlier, I said Kiki bar, so let me correct myself. A Tiki bar. Thank you to CSFL for that Tiki bar. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I've heard the same thing as well. Where cats are, from what I've heard, it was the cats are the guardians of heaven. Have you heard that one?
I think it was something like that. Like in ancient times, they would ward off evil spirits or something like that. I remember hearing it specifically from a show that and I would see it. But that is interesting, though. Oh, I'm gonna ask you a question. So, are you a dog person or a cat person?
I like both.
Yeah, same here. For me though, uh, if I would choose one or the other, it would be a cat. But I love both though. It's like you know, um, have you ever seen I think there's this movie. I forget the name of the movie. If CSN could remember this one, it's about a dog who goes through reincarnation. It's with Dennis. Is it Randy Quaid or Dennis? No, Randy Quaid. And this movie made me bawl. I was in tears when I was watching this movie, because the dog would go through different lifetimes, right? And it was telling the story through the perspective of the dog. I forget the name. I can't. I think somebody, if they can find that out for me. But the actor is Randy Quaid, and it was a very good movie. So if any pet lovers out there, or we just want to watch a nice movie, I recommend that one. Let's see. Let's read some of the comments here. Hey JJ, how's it going? How's everything? Let's see. A Dog's Journey. Yes, yes, Dog's Journey. That was the movie. So let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna go through some of the comments. That girl says hi. Hello, hello. Ric Flair. Woo. Okay, Ric Flair. Which are you, a dog person or a cat person, or you just don't like pets? Just wonder. Let's see. Facebook user says, I can't read that one, but I don't know who it is that's saying that. Says, I'm pretty sure my dog knows when I'm thinking about him because he wags his tail. Yeah, and I see that like in YouTube videos, animals, wagging their tails, so that means they're happy, right? So that's pretty cool. I've also had dreams of when the cat was alive. I would have this one dream where me and the cat were like in a battle, but the thing is, the cat was huge, right? It wasn't small like in real life. It was like a lion. It was like a tiger, actually. And I was like so intrigued at this dream. It was a beautiful dream, and we were just kicking ass with like the villains in this this experience, this dream. And I was in such awe, because I was like pushing, you know what I mean? And he was like a freaking tiger, right? So my question is when I had that dream, could the cat have had that dream as well, or could he have entered my dream, right? Or can we enter the pet's dream, the animal's dream? I find it intriguing. What do you think, Prop?
I think that is possible. If we feel that the animals can sense spiritual presence, I think that it may be possible. Um, and it may be possible that we are entering each other's dreams sometimes. It could be possible. I don't know. I think anything is possible in the spiritual when you're in the spiritual, but I'm not sure though. Could be. Could be. Because I was thinking. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was thinking when you said your cat turned into a tiger, right? You said a tiger.
It was the size of a tiger, but it remained like the same color.
Right. So I was thinking that where would the cat get that image from in order to turn into a tiger?
Well, it didn't turn. It was pretty much already, like, for instance, the size of a tiger, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
you know
okay.
what's funny? Yeah, you know what's funny though? Like when I was in my 20s, I believe, I had an encounter with a tiger. It was crazy. I was heading to work. This isn't dream related or anything like that, but we had a special guest, right? It was a it was a strip club that I worked at, and the tiger and someone else were the guests, special guests, and the owner tied up the or basically had the tiger in on a chain, and I was heading into work with my muffin and my coffee or my hot chocolate, and I was getting ready to go in through the door, and all of a sudden I see the tiger, his ears perked up, and he came running towards me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dead. I am dead because he was running and I froze. I froze. I didn't know what to do because how do you outrun a tiger, right? And the thing is that he came over to me and he pounced on me, right? But the thing is that it wasn't like malevolent or anything like that. He just wanted to play. And the owner came out and was like, oh, he just wants to play. But I was getting pulverized. He knocked my coffee, he knocked my muffin. So basically that was all gone. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my last day. But the thing is that he just wanted to play. I thought that was pretty funny though.
Right. That happened to me a while back. The same exact thing when I was trying to eat breakfast. This tiger came out of nowhere and knocked my muffin. I had a muffin too. Knocked my coffee down and everything. And I thought he wanted to play, but what he was trying to do was promote his cereal to me. And then when I finally got it, he was like, "Great."
Oh, good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You don't mind if I use that one? Let's see. Let's read some of the comments here. CSN asks, "Were you He-Man in the dream?" No, no, I wasn't He-Man. I was just me, myself, and I. Right? And it was like we were just battling some crazy. It was like not a wrestling angle, but it was just we were fighting other villains and all that. It was pretty funny. Let's see. That girl says, "I used to have a cat named Sam. He used to like curl up on my back when I was sleeping on my stomach. About a month after he passed, I felt him jump on the bed and curl up on my back." Yeah, and that's the thing. We develop a bond because you know what's funny? I often hear like individuals say, "Oh yeah, you know what? Cats they I've heard some people say cats don't have souls." I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I'm like, of course, in my opinion, I think they do, right? You develop that bond, that closeness, so they remain with you, right? So it's an interesting comment right there. Let's see. That girl says, "I was in that weird half awake, half asleep stage." JJ says, glad you got the JR reference. WrestleMania. Let's see. JJ said, wow, that's freaky. That girl. Okie dokie. Champion says, prop. Did the tiger have a blue nose? Yeah, that's a good one. I still can't get over that one. And that girl says, of course, animal have souls. And I totally agree. I totally agree. Um, and making reference to Jerry the Dark Wolf Den's radio show, he was talking about perhaps conducting tests, like experiments, nothing bad, but with your pet. So, for instance, visualizing, images in your mind, just looking at your pet, staring at your pet, and seeing, if you get images in return, right? Because of course, there's the cats meow at us and all that. They can, you know, give us the heads up, that they want their food. They'll meow at us, so we'll sort of know that they're asking. But like, I think there is that possible connection if we practice, if we try, because I think a lot of people have that feeling that it's silly to do, and I've seen that that's a silly thing to do. No, not really, because you're thinking outside the box. There are a lot of people out there that are in that box, that shoe box, and there are a lot of people that like to think outside the box and try it. There's nothing wrong with trying it. So I think if I had a cat again, I think I would, try that experiment, and see what became of it. Her daughter says, they're great. That's a good one.
Yeah. As far as what you said about a psychic connection, I've had cats before, and I've always felt like when I'm on the way out the house, that they're putting pictures into my mind, like bring me some of that wet food, because I've read somewhere that the wet food for cats, they're like, it's like fast food, and it's not really healthy. So I tried not to give them wet food all the time, but I felt like they always wanted the food, and I was wondering if that was me that just wants to feed the animals, or they're actually communicating with me. What do you think about that?
I think anything is possible. I think like I'm very open minded in regards to them communicating with us. Like I had a hamster, and there were times where I'd look at the hamster. I'm like, okay, let's try this experiment. Let's try this. You know what I mean? And then I kind of felt foolish at first, but I was like, hey, you know what? I think there's that possibility that even hamsters or just any kind of animal can communicate with us if we work at it, right?
Right. What was the experiment that you had with the hamster?
Oh no, I was just like looking at it and trying to like say it in my mind, like something, and like again, of course, at first I kind of felt foolish, but then I was like, no, 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 don't feel foolish. It's trying an experiment, right, to see if anything becomes of it. Nothing became of it. I think the the hamster was just looking at me with a like puzzled look on his face, like what, you know, and I think he wanted his food.
Yeah, it's amazing. It seems like some of these, well, not some of these, but a lot of animals, they go for that food. You go to a park and you see ducks, they'll go crazy for that bread.
Exactly. And you know what? Oh, here's the funny thing. Oh, great question that you actually like you asked, like when the experiments. Now, since I don't have a pet right now, I don't have a cat because he passed in January. I decided to do this little experiment with other people's pets or dogs. Like if I see, like if I'm on my bike or I'm walking, and then I'll see somebody walking their dog, and then I'll say it in my mind. I'm like, and like for instance, it was last week. There was a guy walking with his dog, and the dog. They were walking. I was behind them. They were walking ahead of me, and then in my mind, I was just looking at the dog, and then in my mind, I consciously said, "Hey." I was like, "Hey, how's it going? Look back, look back." I know it sounds kind of foolish, but I'm like, these are experiments that I felt, I gotta try. Why not, right? Having experienced astral projection and all that, it's pretty far out there, right? So I said, let's try it. So as soon as I said that, the dog turned around and looked at me and started waggling his tail. He just looked at me like and tilted his head. And I'm like, no way. It could be coincidence, right? But I was like, he looked away. Okay, right? So then I'm continuing to walk again. And I was like, wow, did I just experience that? So I tried it again, right? So they're walking in front of me. And then I said, let's try this again. So in my mind, I visualized the dog, right? And then I said that, oh, hey, how's it going? I was, I had feeling in what I was saying or thinking in my mind. Like it was like a good sense of like throwing out good energy, so to speak. And remember, a lot of pets can sense this, right? They can sense hostility. They can sense if you're coming, you know, from the angle of, uh, you know, with love or, caring. So I did it again and I thought that in my mind, and the dog looked at me again and started waggling its tail. So I was like, wow. I was like, that's pretty cool, right? And, I thought that was intriguing.
Yeah, yeah, you have more luck than me. I tried the same exact thing. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I got this psychic impression back, and it was a dog. I'm a dog. What do you expect, fool?
Uh, which dog is this? Is this like another? They're great joke. Which one is this? Junkyard dog?
No, it was a poodle. It was
Oh,
a, it was a,
poodle. Okay.
it was a poodle with a deep voice.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Oh,
I'm
maybe it
just
went
joking.
right through. No, I know. It was just yeah. But I actually also like thought about like giving white light to the animals as well, because I shared in previous broadcasts about like when I astral project, I do this thing called this white light technique where I um, send out positive light, positive reinforcement, positive energy. Excuse me, but to like dogs or pets or whatever, and I also do that in the waking state as well. So like I could try that via astral projection, or I could try that like in my waking life, right? So for instance, I'll just say energy now, right? And then it's like I visualize like a light coming out of my chest, right? Um, and I'll throw it in the direction of the animal, right? Just to see if there's a reaction. Um, for the most part, there has been certain reactions, like positive reactions. It's just like they kind of look at you like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? The best way I can describe that, like visualization or that what I do, is like this movie called the Celestine Prophecy and Donnie Darko, right? Where that thing comes out of like Donnie Darko's chest, right? It's like a energy tunnel or a wormhole or something like that, but it's light, radiating light.
Okay. The dogs may need some shades. A white light energy now comes towards them, huh?
Well, didn't I thought I heard this that dogs don't see color. Is that true? Like I heard that somebody mentioned that to me that dogs are colorblind.
Me personally, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I remember hearing. I forget where. It's like if I can remember it, I'll I heard this on somewhere, but Um, that girl says cool visual. Yeah, so basically, like, even I also wanted to try like an experiment, like, because here's the thing: you see so many dogs that are or pets, animals like cats that are in like uh those uh vet shops where they're gonna be put down or something like, and I feel bad, right? So it's like I want to go to these places, right? Because of COVID, not anymore, but like I could try this via astral projection and then just beam light on them. You know what I mean? Right? So it's like just to say, hey, you're not forgotten, It's like they're in their cages, but I just want to, you know, send out comfort, love or something like that.
Right. If I need to upgrade on my light, can you send some white light towards me one of these days?
Yeah, I got a flashlight ready. You want
No,
me to do that?
I want that energy now, white light.
Oh, you want
You
the
know.
energy? Yeah, I don't mind doing it. It's like it's just like if you want, if you're serious about that, I could try it. It's like, but you need to give me permission and all that. That's 'cause I just don't like do it. Like.
Right. You can start off with Earth Daughter or CSFL. I'm
Oh
just joking.
no. Yeah, no worries. JJ says yes, they are colorblind. So yeah, that's very interesting. I was like, um, so that's pretty interesting. Let me go through some of the.
Juanito, can you hear me?
Oh, you know what? I just realized that I was on mute. Duh. But I just realized, I just realized that I was on mute. I'm here reading a question, and I'm like, okay, my bad. So let's see. Um, the question from a member from the astral projection group, she asked, has any of you had a family pet visit you in the astral? My grandson's dog, who is the brother of my little dog, visited us this week. They live an 8-hour drive away and was just over here Thanksgiving. I think he missed us. One of the members says, I am quite positive my cat is a reincarnation of my dog. Very similar personality. That's interesting. Yeah, sorry about that. I just realized, I was like, oh, wait. It's like, I'm on mute.
No, it's nobody but Tony the Tiger trying to stop us. That's all.
Let's see. Um, yeah, so JJ says, yes, they are colorblind. CSN, like a vampire, let me in. Yeah. CSN or CSFL says, I thought he was on his way over.
What does that mean? Tony the Tiger or
No, I think, yeah, I think he was talking about Tony the Tiger. Let's see. And you know what's funny? Even when my hamster died, I felt its presence. Like I felt like a little thing crawling up my chest. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I could feel it. You know what I mean? And I get a lot of that sort of stuff. Like anytime someone who's passed away, um, they usually I get this like quote unquote presence, and it's like they come to me in my dream, or like it's or it's pretty freaky when when I experience it, right? So
right, right. I understand what CSFL means now. I think what he means is when you're sending that white light, we got a moment of silence while you sent that white light towards him.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that can be done long distance as well. But yeah.
How so? How do you think that would feel? If you were to do that, what do you think would be the result of that?
Um, have you ever done Reiki, or have you ever had a Reiki session?
No.
Okay, so basically, like I had a Reiki session. The best way I can describe it is like feeling like that, or like if you're getting into like a meditation and then you just so relaxed. Um, like the Reiki session that I tried, um, it was like when I got up, my legs were rubbery. I felt like I was gonna like fall on my butt because I was just so ahead. Like I could feel in my heart, my legs, um, love, tranquility, serenity, bliss, peace, euphoria, all rolled up into one. That's the best way I can describe it. But it was in my heart, and then it was like all over like my body, my physical body. So my legs was feeling it, and it was just beautiful. It was like wow. CSN says shields up. So does anyone have any questions? Feel free to ask. I'll try to answer it. Or if you want to share an experience, or if you want to join the discussion, feel free. Don't be shy. We won't bite. Well, unless you're Tony the Tiger.
Don't worry, it's going to be great.
Ba-dum-bum.
So when you do that, when you go into that process, just one question about that. I guess I'll be the first one to ask a question. When you go into that process of seeing that white light, how you have to get into that state, correct? And how do you get into that state to actually do that?
Okay, so for me, like I just started like in the past, I would just like meditate. So I would do the breathing exercises. So I would breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. So I would do that repetitively. I would do that for like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You need a lot of discipline because the thing is that I guess there are times where we want to move. Our physical body. You're like, oh, I want to move my, or there's a scratch on the nose that you gotta take care of and all that. But you gotta be disciplined, right? So that the whole process usually takes like 25 minutes. When I was younger, it would take a lot longer, right? Because I was like just learning how to do it. But as the years gone, by, I was able to like the times would be less. So that's when I would like visualize, um or like the from the astral projection standpoint, I would like quote unquote leave my physical body, and then like the experiment that I tried with my father, I would go over to him, and then I would say energy now, and then that burst of heat and light would come out of my hands, right? um the best way, I don't know, it's like a feeling of like magnetized. My hands felt like they were magnetized, and there was a burst of heat coming from them. That's the best way I can describe it.
Oh, sounds like you're an X-Man. Yeah, Champion has a good question there about pets. I've also wondered about that as well.
So yeah, that's a very good question. Champion Sports Nation asks, will we see all our former pets in the afterlife? I think so. I do. I think you know animals are pretty much innocents, right? They're our companions in this physical world, right? And I think we have that, their family pretty much, right? So I do think that we will see them in the afterlife. I think they're always with us, right? But then there's an interesting question to that question, is like, the whole question about reincarnation, right? It's like, will they get quote unquote recycled into another pet or another dog or another animal? You know what I mean? So it is interesting, definitely, for sure. But I do think we will see our former pets.
And do humans reincarnate into animals, and do animals do the same? As far as reincarnating to humans.
That's a good one. That, you know what? That's a good question, right? Ultimately, I don't know. I'm thinking, for me, just in my opinion, I think if you're an animal, you reincarnate as an animal, right? I could be wrong. Hey, that's the interesting topic for debate. Um, like for me, honestly, I've joked around about this, like, the reincarnation thing. If it is possible, if it is a thing and all that, I hope this is my last kick at the can. I don't want to come back. If I were to, like, I would want to be, quote unquote, a helper, like a, not I won't say angel. I don't want to use that term, but someone who helps, you know, from the fifth dimension, or, the upper dimension, the higher planes. You know what I mean? That's what I would want to do. I wouldn't want to come back and do high school over again, elementary school, college. Hell no. You know what I mean? Forget that. How about you? Prop? You still there? Yeah, like a spirit guide. Her daughter says a spirit guide. Okie dokie. So let's go over to, I think Prop got cut off or something.
I'm here now. I'm sorry about that. I had a slight connection issue.
Oh, no worries. Let's see. Earth Daughter says a spirit guide. Yeah, something like that. You know. But who knows? Let's see. So we're gonna change topics here. Member comments, member posts. If anyone has any questions or an experience they would like to share, let me know. Let's see. CSN says, I'm not coming back. New York's not my home. Ric Flair says, do you think animal and hawks have souls? I think you know what? I think everybody, like, I think they do. Yeah. Animal. Wait, is this a wrestling question? Is this a yeah, Legion of Doom? This is Legion of Doom. Hawk and animal, right? I should have known. It's like today's joke city. Today's joke city. It's all good. But yeah, so let's see. Let me go through some of the posts here. Lily Walker says, my dog who passed visited me, but he was a different type of dog on the outside. He rainbow colors, but I could tell he was my dog when he ran up on me. Let's see. Ronnie says, yes, also in dreams, which to me is the same thing if you are aware enough. I had a vivid dream that my neighbor's horse came to see me in my dream. She came over to me to say goodbye, and I was petting her. That's pretty interesting. And have you ever heard of that horse? I don't know if you've seen that horse as well, where basically they take this horse. I forget the name of the horse, but they go to the hospital, and it just comforts people, right? In their last days. So I find that very interesting, very intriguing. Right. Let's see. Champion Sports Nation says, if they do, it would be quite a rush. Oh, that's a good one. Boy, we got some WWE flair going on. But get it? Flair. Champion Sports Nation says, got him. Let's see. Your daughter says maybe her dog was the manifestation on how we saw himself. Interesting. So yeah, so I'm debating whether or not to get a pet, another one, a cat. But I don't know. I think I want to get a cat, right? Um, but again, it wasn't my cat, so it was my landlord's cat. So I don't know. He's still kind of hurt about his passing. So I don't think I'll be getting one for the foreseeable future. Um, let's see. Her daughter says cats rock. Um, Prop, you want to mention any topics you want to talk about in this discussion? It's a pretty much open-ended discussion like you do on your channel, right? So for the most part, we are talking about like pet psychics, psychic pets, or what have you. But if you want to talk about you know paranormal stuff, Mandela effect, or anything like that, just let me know.
Right, right. I'm just sitting here thinking of some questions that I had about animals passing away, and the owner sees that animal in the near-death experience, and the animal's speaking English. Do you believe that that can happen?
Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Okay, it was that story I told you earlier about the out of body experience that someone had and seen their pet that passed away in that experience, and that pet was speaking English. Do you think that's possible that that could happen?
Speaking English, what, in the out of body experience?
Yeah, the pet was at that tiki bar with a drink. With a drink.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's way out there. You know what? Like I said, I like to keep an open mind, right? Um, who knows? Maybe they can communicate with us via telepathy in the astral, right? It's like because like remember when I had that out of body experience, right? The cat sensed that I was looking at it. It could see me, right? But yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting question. Who knows? I think anything is possible. I think we don't know like everything out there. There's more than meets the eye to this world, so to speak.
Right. Transformers, huh?
Yeah, more than meets the eye. But I don't know. Has anybody ever seen this clip of the dog where when it's on YouTube? It has like I think over like 20 million hits. I think where the dog's owner passes away. It was so heart wrenching when I saw this, and the dog doesn't want to leave the gravesite. They try to pull it away, but the dog is just glued to the grave. Doesn't want to move, and you can hear the dog whimpering, crying. I'm like, oh my god! It melted my heart. It melted my heart when I saw that. Right, and again, it shows that bond. The family that it's just like wow. You know, and it's pretty. It was very sad when I saw that.
Wow.
But Earth Daughter says my old kitty Brando learned to say mom and he knew what it meant. That's beautiful. He would call out mom when he was looking for me. I miss Brando. Oh, that's very interesting. Hey Jojo's. That's so beautiful, right? If I may ask, Earth Daughter, did you name him after Marlon Brando? Just wondering. Jojo says, I fell asleep. Well, welcome, Jojo's, for checking us out. Let's see. One second here. I'm just going to be scrolling through. One sec.
So you think that whatever animal that we had in life that passed away, they're still with us now? That would be a lot of crawling on our backs.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think I think okay, so for me, I think when they'll give you like a heads up and say, okay, it's like they're saying their goodbyes. So when they pass away, they say their goodbyes, but in order for you, they won't interfere with your life. They'll probably drop in from time to time, so to speak, just to check on you. You know what I mean? For comfort or whatever. But yeah, so I think when they pass, they're on that other plane, right? That some call it heaven, some call it a higher plane of existence or whatever. You know, they're probably on a different kind of spiritual plane. You know, it's interesting though.
Right. I don't hear a lot of stories about pets being in the afterworld. When I hear afterworld stories, they're talking about, meeting relatives or whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, I find that interesting as well, right? You know what, my like as I mentioned, my uncle, right? I wonder if he felt or he saw his pet that passed away. His name is the dog's name was King. I remember King pounced on me when I was a kid, and it was such a beautiful German Shepherd, right? I was like, oh man, I was like to my mom, I want a dog, I want a dog, and she's like, no. My mom wouldn't um, didn't want to get a cat or dog, right? Because her pet passed away when she was a kid, and she didn't want to feel that sadness again, right? So it was pretty sad. But let's see. Champion Sports Nation says she actually named him Brondo. Brondo? Oh, okay. Let's see. Her daughter says no, but the shelter name had him named him after Marlon Brando, and we kept it. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's cool. Anyhow, let's see. Anybody have any experiences? JoJo's, have you have any experience with your cat? Like your cat sensing, if you're thinking about something or vice versa, like have you tried any experiments with your cat?
Anybody had a ripping rabbit?
What? Oh yeah, you know what? I also thought about that. I also thought about getting a rabbit, but then I was like, if I were to get a rabbit, I would name him Rippin Rabbit. Hey Rippin, come over here.
Mm.
Jojo says I've been practicing with her. We're doing good. We're doing good. That's pretty cool. Anyhow, let's see. I'm gonna be keeping this probably within an hour, so we got like 7 more minutes. You have any additional things you want to talk about? Prop?
No, not at this time. Just going with the flow. I appreciate everybody showing up here and showing support. Thank you for having me on as well.
I thank everybody for coming out as well. I'm gonna read some of the posts from the group. Let's see. It says Ian says yes, my dog was very sick with pancreatitis took a turn for the worse in the middle of the night, so I put the dog on my bed back to back with me, then did a full chakra energizing cycle and created an energy loop between my spinal column and my dog's. I just kept that loop running for the rest of the night until the vet's office opened in the morning. The dog made it. Interesting, right? So we have someone who tried an experiment, like, and that's the thing. I think, like, for me, in my opinion, I think we have the capacity, the capability to heal each other, each one another, right? um we just have to have the belief, set the intent, and I think we can do it. um so I don't think it is silly. You know what I mean? This is all, I think it's within all of us. And again, the pets offer that comfort as well, right? Just when they rest on our shoulders or on our chest. Let's see. Nay says, yep, did energy with my family pet. pretty regularly, they definitely felt it. Um, Kat says, it's funny. The member's name is Kat, and she says, "I give Reiki to my dog." Interesting. That's pretty cool. Anyhow, let's see. Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I
Oh, you
wonder
wanted to add
how the
something?
yeah. I wonder how the her dog would react to the Reiki. How do you know?
She didn't specify, but you know what? That'd be interesting experiment to try. Like, but again, I think like I remember how dogs and cats sense this sort of stuff. Like, I think they would be receptive to it, but I could be wrong, right? That's something that'd be interesting to try.
So we could actually communicate with our pets, especially focusing on the energy and now exercise you mentioned earlier, and then sending the white light to them. Um, we could do that, but can we actually communicate? Do you think we can actually communicate by trying to focus on the aspect of telepathy somehow
In the waking, you mean, or in like when you're astral projecting?
in the waking?
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd have to, like, with anything, I think you have to work at it, right? So like for instance, if you want to ride a bike, you got to learn how to ride a bike. Some people have that capability of drawing amazingly, and then some people have to work at instead of drawing stick man, they have to work at it. I think some people have the capability of astral projecting more than others. You know what I mean? So I think with doing something like that, I think you would have to put work into it, right? Um, but again, that's the thing. If a lot of people kind of don't want to put in that work, that's cool, right? But some people think it's foolish. That's cool as well, right? It's not for everybody, but the individuals who have the time, the dedication to do something like this, you know, I think they would be known as the dog whisperer, the horse whisperer, or the cat whisperer. You know what I mean? Because maybe they have put time into it. Maybe they have done the due diligence and all the things that were necessary in communicating. Like, have you ever seen that guy that goes into the tiger's den, or is it lion? I think it's either lion or tiger, one of those. This guy, like, literally goes into the lion's den, and they could eat him, but they don't, right? He has this good rapport with him, and all the lions accept him. So I'm thinking, how is he doing this, right? Like, because I think if I were to go in, or Joe Schmo were to go in, they would get torn apart. But this individual, I don't know his name, but you can check it on YouTube. he they accept them as one of their own. It's like, it's so amazing to watch.
Mm, I have to check that out. So you think it's very possible that we can communicate now? I wouldn't know that telepathy even exists if I didn't experience it myself. So I'm coming from that perspective. Like, if you really want to communicate with your animals, how do you even exercise that? Especially if there's no step by step book. I mean, of course you can go online. You could think of the idea like, hey, what if I could communicate with my animals? Let me type up and see if anybody else, has any answers. But for just a regular person, what would they have to do in order to be able to communicate with their animals, if that makes any sense? I've seen JoJo say that she communicates with her cat all the time. How do you go about doing that? I guess that's what the question is. And you said exercise and practice, but where do you start is what I'm saying. Where do you start?
Well, for me, I try to research other individuals who have written books, like, on this, right? I'm sure there are books out there that they can offer. Like, for me, I haven't read any books on this, but for me, I'm open to the fact that this is possible. Like, having done so, like with that experiment that I tried with the dog, like when I was walking, and then I was like, visualizing, thinking about it. So I did try it, like, from that perspective, right? So, um, I'm open to that, right? So again, there's more investigation that has to be done, I think, with this. It's like researching more, and getting other people's ideas on how to do, on what to do. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Right. And would you say that in order to communicate with animals, we have to first end separation within ourselves, as far as like, black, brown, white, Asian, whatever like that. We have to end all of that in order to be able to connect fully or be able to connect at all. What do you think about that? Or can we just be ourselves and still connect?
Oh yeah, just be yourself 100%. I don't think, you know what, here's the thing. I don't think, like, this is my opinion, but I don't think dogs, cats, remember how uh, JJ and we were mentioning that dogs don't see color, they're colorblind, right? So the thing is that they just see the energy. I'm guessing they see the energy. Like if you're a caring person, they see that, they see that aura or something. They have that sixth sense, so to speak. You know what I mean? They can sense if you're malevolent. They just have that understanding, right? So yeah, I think they don't see that sort of stuff, right? I think the communication would be there, if you tried it. Excuse me.
Right. And to answer Earth Daughter, yes, I do remember that. Um, Earth Daughter is referring to a time I was able to visualize something. Um, I'm just reading it
Oh,
right
okay.
now. I think you were there when that happened. I'm not
Yeah,
sure, but
yeah. I was.
oh, okay.
So I'll read it. Earth Daughter says, I just thought of something. At Propagate This Light, remember when you saw a vision of my cat in the dryer? And I explained that dryer drum was on the floor because my husband was repairing it. Hmm. Interesting. So who here is a cat owner? I know JoJo's has a cat, Earth Daughter has a cat, Champ has a cat. Anyone else? Let's see who that girl. I don't know
I'm
if
a
she has
I'm a cool cat. I'm a cool cat. I try to be
it. That's a good one.
right.
Yeah. It's always good to keep it light, It's like, hey, you made me laugh today, prop. That's good. I appreciate
Well,
that.
well, my well, my name is Propagate This Light.
You know what's funny? When I see your icon, it reminds me of the Dogecoin. The Shiba Inu. The sides. There's like that light, right?
hmm hmm
That's like the Shiba Inu, right? Just take off your face and then put the Shiba Inu, and then it's Dogecoin to the moon.
Okay, what is that? Is the Shiba Inu? I heard of Shiba. What is it?
The Shiba Inu. That's the dog. So basically, the Dogecoin, uh, crypto coin, that's their mascot, so to speak. The Shiba Inu, Dogecoin. Yeah,
And you said it's a dog.
yeah. It's a dog. So it's pretty much a dog on the crypto coin. I started investing in crypto, so I bought like tons and tons of Doge, and it's allegedly going to the moon soon. So we're gonna
Hmm.
be, you know, going to the moon as well.
Oh, okay, that sounds cool. At least I'm
And
associated with something good. At least I'm
oh,
associated
for
with
sure.
something good. Yeah.
Anyhow, so I'm just gonna be keeping this an hour long. Thank you everybody for joining the late night 11:11 Out of Body Experience TV podcast, and I thank you Prop for joining us, and I thank everybody that's in the chat with us. Thank you for giving us your feedback, your stories, sharing, and you take care and have a good one.
Rock steady, everyone. Rock steady.